Good morning and welcome to the VSA Morning Miner. It's Friday the 10th of June. I'm joined by Paul Rakin on his last day before heading off to PDAC. Paul, how are you this morning?
I am well, thank you. And the news is a little bit light today, too. Looks like a lot of the London marketplace, as far as news, is preparing to get off to PDAC, too.
Well, it's been quite quiet this week. I think a lot of people still off, having had a long weekend last week. But yeah, hopefully plenty of news next week to come out so that companies can talk at PDAC. Yeah, let's start with Aquis listed Tectonic Gold, though, which looks like they're about to get back in the field, which should mean some news flowing catalysts coming up soon.
Yes, that's right. They put a press release out here that now that the rain in Queensland has subsided, which put a premature halt to their drilling activity back in January. They now getting field crews back out now, and they expect that the drill pads they'd prepared there at Specimen Hill Project, Goldsmith's Reef, those pads should be dried out enough in the next few days that they can get the rigs back up on the project to finish the program that's not quite yet finished on the drilling. Keeping the fingers crossed here, and definitely keen to see just what they might come up with, both on the Goldsmith's Reef gold target, but also some incompleted drilling on one or two copper occurrences as well on the property, not that far away from Goldsmiths, that I really want to see some info on.
Yeah, okay. Well, we'll be following that closely. You, I think, are pretty excited about the announcement from AEX Gold.
Yes, that's really very interesting there from AEX Gold that they had come up with a joint venture participant to come in and provide 18 million pounds of funding in joint venture for a 49% stake on all of AEX Gold's non-precious metals licenses in Greenland. The AEX will contribute a similar amount of money, but the whole thing or purpose is to accelerate the exploration or earliest grassroots stage exploration on these licenses because they contain the battery and sustainable electricity type materials and are not necessarily related to the gold mineralization, which AEX will still hold 100% of.
Okay. Sovereign Metals, Paul, you've liked that project for a number of years, and it's now dual listed in London. They've got an announcement today. What's the news there?
Yes, that's I've from earlier on, I've always liked the separate graphite project, but now it turns out that this their primary project now, the Kasaya rutile deposit, which is about 30-40 kilometers west-northwest of the capital city of Lilongwe in Malawi, has a really significant graphite component as well. The initial testing on flake size distribution showing about 46% in the large and jumbo flake size category. So they're going to accelerate a comprehensive bulk scale metallurgy and downstream testing program here just to see what contribution they might be able to have as graphite in order to augment what is otherwise the world's largest rutile deposit at this particular point in time that they have at Kasaya. So really interesting there.
Yeah, and graphite, the market's always sort of been dogged for investors by the sort of looming monster of the Syrah project. But we saw yesterday the stock price fell quite sharply on account of terror attacks in northern Mozambique. So that project facing difficulties, which will perhaps open up the market to other projects like this one.
Yes, that's right. And the the graphite is, from my viewpoint, probably one of the really underappreciated commodities for the battery sector in particular, in that all graphite deposits are not equal, and all of them essentially are needed that can be found in order to get into finance and production in order to scale the battery sector going forward as quickly as possible, in my view.
Yeah, that's true. It is a much harder subsector to stop picking, I think, because of that. And anything else, Paul?
Yes, we had the full year results released by Sarabi Gold, with a very nice improvement in revenue there on Brazil operations. But within that document, it is important to point out, I think, for listeners that they have admitted that they are having dilution problems on mining in the ore feed from the Sal Chico mine, and they won't be able to mitigate those issues in the short term. So they are saying that they won't be able to reach their previously announced 2022 guidance on gold production for this year. So we'll be watching that one more closely, because otherwise the operating financials from last year are showing a nice steady production with so far a mitigation on production costs has been pretty good from inflation basis, but this put some flags up for me, I think.
Okay. Right. Well, thanks, Paul. We'll leave it there. Safe travels to PDAC. Keep us updated on some tips, and we'll put them out on the podcast next week.
Very good. Great.